Okay, one thing I hate to even bring up is if your bolt is so tight it won't budge at all. Now I've had this happen on table saws because they get left out in the rain, and of course, you know, water will seep into anything. But 14 millimeter on an impact driver, and just make darn sure you know which way this thing loosens. When you, if and when you need to use this thing, don't use your lock. It'll break it off. Get somebody to help you hold this thing down to where the blade won't turn. I mean, the blade's no good anyway because you're changing it. And then use your impact driver to take the bolt off. But like I say, putting it back on. Oh, one thing you need to do, if and when you have to use an impact, spray some WD-40 on here or some kind of rust preventer. I gotta make sure I can get it loose now. Oh boy, howdy, see what I mean? I just barely tightened it with that thing too. A little loose, now tighten it up. Okay, there we go. All right, we're set. Good morning, Judy. Well, today we're going to change some blades on a skill saw. There are several different ways you can do it. I'll give you all the different ways. But the first thing, you want to make sure it's unplugged. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And if you're working with a battery powered, you want to take the battery out. No ifs, ands, or buts there either. Some of these saws will stand up on their edge, like this one, you know, you just, makes it a lot easier to do anything with. This one here won't. Got that rounded thing there, it won't sit up there. So, anyway, well, what we've got two different, we've got a Allen wrench and we've got a nut, but this one is starting to get the rounded corners. So we're going to end up using a socket. Here's the wrench that comes with it. I mean, it's kind of I mean, it works, well worth using, but you can see how the corners on this are starting to round too, and that's what causes them to round on the bolt on this thing. There you can see how much room there is. But anyway, we're going to use this, we're going to use a socket, we're going to use an Allen wrench. Some of these saws, you'll have to read on the washer which way it comes undone. Like this one is a left-hand turn. So to loosen it, you have to go, instead of righty-tighty, you want to go lefty. Instead of righty-tighty, you want to go righty-loosey. Then you hold that button down until it locks into place. Okay. You can see I'm going to the right, loosening it up. A lot of people get confused, and there are several saws like that. Okay, and then it's just a matter of taking that blade off. Make sure the teeth are facing the way the saw turns. Normally the back side has no writing, the front side has all the writing on it. That's the one that usually faces you. And that's about 99% of the time. Only one way, two ways this one will go on. Remember, lefty tighty. And then you want to get you don't have to bear down on this bolt. Pull down on until it's tight, and then just give it another till your thumb hurts, finger hurts, whatever. Because if you over tighten it, and if it's on here for a long time, the rust will set in on the thread a little bit and make it almost impossible to get it off. On the other Ryobi, now this one, the arrows on the blade show which way the blade goes, so don't confuse that. This doesn't have any markings on it as far as which way the blade is, the bolt is loosened or tightened. So normally if it doesn't have anything on there, that means it's lefty-loosey. And we're going to start with this. You got this lock on the top. Spin the blade around. This is why you want it unplugged. Spin that blade around. Okay, until it locks into place. Get your wrench, make sure it's all the way on there. Okay, and then it's loose. But what I'm going to show you, this is a 14. 14 millimeter. This is really a lot better because it won't round the threads any more than what they already are. You can see this is a 6-point. Okay, get that on there. Make sure it goes on all the way. Loosen it. Loosen it up. Change the blade. Alright, the next one is, let me tighten this up. Allen wrench. It's always best to keep the SAE and metric Allen wrenches at the house. This has got, now this one is different than that other one because it's a smaller one, so this one, it's best to keep this one. Now the one thing you definitely want to do, you want to make sure this hole in here is cleaned out, because what happens, it gets full of dust, this thing won't go in all the way, and then it starts slipping. Then you start having either the edges on the Allen wrench to start rounding, and what's even worse is the Allen wrench hole on the bolt is starting to round off, and that's a huge problem once that gets rounded off. Because then you're going to have to buy you a new bolt. Keep a nice pick around. Even though people don't use them anymore, but if you've got one, I guarantee you're going to use it a lot more than you can think of. But you want to clean out, doesn't take much, you want to clean out the inside where the Allen wrench goes. This way you get a real good fit in there. This one is lefty-loosey. Use the Allen wrench. Tighten it down best you can. Push on it till it hurts your thumb. Or just pull it until you think it's good and tight. You'll hear it slip if it ever slips. Put your wrench right back in the holder where it belongs. Got that little indent right here that catches the edge of this. That's why this thing's so hard to get out sometimes. But as long as you keep it there and you keep these things from getting rounded off, then this wrench will Last you a long time. Okay, and that's really all there is to it.